Hello guys, welcome back to the video, and today's video is going to be on how I went from an employee to an investor. As we talk about that and go into story time for here and there, I'm also going to break down the cash flow quadrant, right? The 4 quadrant within the cash flow quadrant. So with that said, let's get to it. So one thing to keep in mind, guys, the cash flow quadrant, there's actually a book written by Robert Kiyosaki going in detail in regards to the cash flow quadrant. There are actually 4 cash flow quadrants, like I mentioned. The employee section, you have an employee quadrant, you have a self-employed quadrant, and then you have a business owner as well as an investor, right? So these quadrants represent the relationship that most individuals have with money, right? In regards to how they make it, right? In regards to how you choose to make money, in regards to how people choose to make money. So in the employee quadrant, you have an employee, and typically as an employee, for you to make money, you have to be trading time for money, right? If you stop trading time for money, guess what? You don't make any money. I was in this quadrant for quite some time early on in my journey. So I first had a few jobs right off high school and kept doing that as I was going to college. I was, working on business, building a small agency here and there and a bunch of other businesses on the side, and try to really make things, running and going as I was obviously holding on the job. I went from working at Chipotle, working at Red Lobster, and worked in various, set of jobs prior to getting to the point where I am right now, where I completely don't have any job. The main source of income is completely from my businesses, right? So for a period of time when you are beginning your journey of entrepreneurship, you are going to need to have a job so you can pretty much hold the fort down, right? So you can save, put things in place, and then move in the direction where you need to be, right? But until that point, typically you're gonna need to really strategize, right? You don't wanna just go into entrepreneurship or going into business really not knowing or having a plan in place to get you to where you need to be, right? So that's the employee section, right? The self-employed, you are still trading time for money, right? The main difference here between self-employed and employee is that you actually are in control of how much you're making, right? When I was working at Chipotle, when I was working at Red Lobster, if I didn't show up for a whole week, guess what? I ain't getting paid. And I'm most likely getting fired, right? For sure. But as a self-employed person, I actually, let's say, own my own restaurant in this situation. I own a Red Lobster, I own a Chipotle, but I'm still have to be there to make sure it's actually successful, right? Because if I'm not there, if I'm not holding the fort down, making sure that everybody is doing what they need to be doing, guess what, guys? Some people won't show up to work. They won't really care. You're going to need to hold the fort down, right? Making sure that your institution, your operation is running smooth, because if you don't, guess what? You're most likely not going to be able to receive continuously the income that you've been accustomed to up until that point, right? So moving on to business owner, the main difference between a business owner and someone who's a self-employed is that they actually have developed a system in place. And I actually moved into this quadrant about 2 years ago, give or take a year and a half ago, where I went from being a one-man show to now having a team of people behind me, and the system that I have created for my business and running it for me and allow me to get the time that I need back to do other thing, but focus more importantly on the business rather than working inside of the business, right? That's the main difference between being a self-employed person and someone who is a business owner. The self-employed person is a one-man show running everything, pretty much working hard every single day, really trying to make everything happen. They may have a team, but they don't have a system, right? The thing that differentiates someone who's a business owner versus someone who's a self-employed person is that a business owner has a team and a system in place that allows them to get their time back. And typically it takes years to get to that position, right? It does not happen just right away. It takes time to identify what is the right system for your business, because every business are different, right? Every person running their business are different. You have to identify what is the perfect fit for your own business, right? For your own situation, and also finding the right people that can fit into that culture. That takes time, right? Sometimes it may happen really fast, right? Some people are lucky and they're able to find the right person right away. But just so you know, if you don't get to that position really fast, it does not mean that you're doing necessarily something wrong. It just means that you need to identify exactly and figure out the formula that works for you specifically. But as far as for direction in terms of where you should be heading into systemization and automation, right? When I was running my business as a one-man show, one of the things that I started doing, I started recording all the conversation, not verbally, but in terms of writing, right? I was writing all the script, right, for the conversation between my people and pretty much the client. I was identifying, okay, what are they saying? Let me write that down. Okay, what is that that they're saying that's actually working really well? What are the things that they're doing every single day? Let me actually record those transactions. Let me record those operations. And what I did is that after recording all those things, I was able to identify a system behind what we're doing, right? I created a system and automated a lot of the process, cut down a lot of the fat, and was able to be very lean in regards to, okay, this is what we need to be doing every single day. This is the amount of people that I think is good enough for us to hire to be able to run the operation and scale beyond the point where we're at, all right? So that's more so how you think when you become a business owner. You focus on operation, system, you focus on automation, and you focus on making sure that you have the right people that you can leverage in order for you to be successful. And lastly, you want to move into the investor quadrant, right? The investor quadrant, it takes a few years, sometimes decades, to be honest, to get into this position, but it's definitely worthwhile, right? To get into this quadrant, you need to identify one thing first. In my opinion, the number one thing you need to find prior to really looking at becoming an investor is something that's called a FIN number, right? A financial independence number. Everybody have their own financial independence number, and it differs from one individual to another individual, right? So a financial independence number is an amount of money in dollar that you would need to have coming in every single month or every year in order for you to be able to have all your bill paid, all your expenses paid, and all the thing that's surrounding your dream, things that you want to spend, right? All that stuff coming in within 1 month or 1 year, right? After all those things are taking care of all those things. So for you, you may say, hey, my fee number is $20,000 per month. Some other people may say is $100,000 per month. Regardless of what your fee number is, you need to identify that first. Once you have your fee number, in this situation, we're going to use this example. We're going to say it's $20,000. Now you need to identify, okay, what type of income generating asset am I going to go after, right? In order to move into the full-time investor, right? Because a lot of the time when you become a business owner, you become investing to slowly move into that quadrant, right? It takes many years to sometimes decades for you to be able to gradually move into that quadrant, right? Full-time, a lot of the time people will stay part-time because they want to keep doing what they've been doing. They just don't want to retire, especially if you're an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs that are really hard workers, that are really putting the work, don't want to be retiring for the rest of their life. They want to keep doing what they've been accustomed to doing because, what's the fun into just retiring and then stop doing what you're doing? But having the options, right? Having the ability to choose is something that's very powerful. So that's the reason why a lot of people keep going after that investor quadrant, right? To have the option, most importantly here. So in order for you to move into this quadrant, here you want to focus on income generating asset, right? Income generating assets such as real estate, you have crypto now, and you have stock that I'm going to mention here to make sure that I keep things very, very simple. Those are the three we're going to focus on today. We also have businesses, right? But business is a different breed. We're going to talk about it in a different video. But I'm going to focus on real estate, crypto, or stock, right? I'm going to make, because these are the simplest one that I can break down here for you to understand. So let's say my fee number is 20,000 and I want to identify what's the game plan AP. How can I get into that position where I have 20,000, right? So I can retire. I can hit my fee number, right? My monthly financial independence number. Well, I thought that you never asked. So the way for you to do that is identifying what type of asset you want to go after. So let's say in this situation, you want to go after a real estate asset, right? So in the real estate class of asset, let's say you purchase a small apartment complex, right? It has 10 doors. Every door on average gives you a profit of about $400, right? So that's $4,000 that you are able to now have as a residual income every single month. Let's say after expenses and you take care of the property manager and everything is said and done, you generate about $400 per doors, right? It's an amazing situation. Not very common, but on average, you can definitely find property and deals like that, right? But let's say you get into the situation like that where you're making about $400 per doors, right? On average, give or take. And now with that deal, you have about $4,000 coming in every single month, right? Guess what? Now you are 20% away from actually hitting the 20,000. What you need to do now over the next few years, maybe the next 5 to 10 years, right, is find 5 other property or 5 other deals like this, right? 5 other multi-family deal like that and add them onto your portfolio. And actually now you have a total of $20,000 coming in every single month. And that's $240,000 coming every single year to allow you to hit your fee number. And I can do the same thing with stock, right? Let's say, a stock pays, let's say a stock stock pays 0.8% in dividend, right? Every quarter or every month, depending on what you choose, right? All you need to have is enough share of that company or companies, right? Or in combination to allow you to receive dividend every single month that helps you hit the 20,000. But the difference here with stock is that a lot of the time they are very volatile. Sometimes they may go up and down and affect the value of the stock that you hold. So in this situation, real estate will be the best option for you in order for you to consistently retain that 20,000 consistently. Although you may have ups and downs in the market, people leaving the property or property manager quitting things, but in this situation, you're more in control versus the stock where you really don't have any control to repair the ups and downs to continuously receive that 20,000. But nevertheless, it's more passive compared to real estate. So you just have to choose your own class of asset, understand the risk, learn and master the lane that you get within, and making sure that you are on track to hitting your fee number, right? Because that is the most important thing once you get into the investing game, right? So those are the 4 cash flow quadrant, guys, and a breakdown. And currently, as far as investment, I own a property. I bought a property last year in Maryland, currently generating me about $800 every single month. But like I said, it's not something that's guaranteed every single month for the rest of my life. I had to put some work in there in that property and currently have a good amount of equity built in there. And my goal is every year to acquire 1 property and focusing on growing my portfolio. So guys, that was my journey as to how I became an investor. And along the way, really learned a lot of the lessons as to what you need to be doing to continuously grow, develop as a leader, build the right team around your business in order for you to always have the capital to fund your investment journey, right? And fund your investment goals as far as for hitting your fee number. So guys, let me know in the comment down below, what is your fee number? What is the number that you guys would like to hit in order for you to be able to retire? Let me know what you guys will start doing starting today to implement in order for you to be able to get to that position. I hope that you guys find value in this journey of mine and the thing that I broke down to this video. And I'll be glad to answer any question that you guys have either on Instagram or in the comment section down below. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, Mr. AP, peace.